active in the theater program, where we have attended state competitions for the last 2 years. I am active in our school's pottery program and attend youth group at Calvary Lutheran Church in Rapid City. After high school, I plan to attend Augustana University, where I plan to major in elementary education. It is my pleasure to be the Master of Ceremonies for the 19th Annual Leadership Breakfast for Scouting. The breakfast serves as a kickoff celebration for the Friends of Scouting campaign and provides us an opportunity to show you what your support has accomplished over the years. Our theme for this year is Beyond the Badge. This is because our programs go beyond just teaching outdoor skills and earning patches. The Scouting program teaches much more. The Scouting program starts with Cub Scouts, where boys and girls, kindergarten through 5th grade, begin developing their life skills and community awareness and timeless values. This is the stepping stone into the next level of the Scouting program. Scouts BSA, formerly called Boy Scouts, is the next step in the Scouting program. For the first time in history, young men and women can experience the leadership and fun that this program has to offer. And all will have the opportunity to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. In the Scouts BSA program, youth learn and develop leadership skills that will last them a lifetime. It is also in this program where Scouts can earn merit badges. Our merit badges teach skills that go beyond Scouting and introduce youth to skill new sets of hobbies. It is these first interactions with topics of interest in the merit badge program that often become lifelong careers. From kayaking to rock climbing, medicine to law, plumbing to automotive maintenance. These are just a few sample topics of the wide range of items covered in the merit badge program. This small taste of a career or hobby often will spark the interest, taking the youth beyond the badge into the future career. Venturing is the next tier of the Scouting program. Venturing is a co-ed, high-adventure-based program that offers young men and women a chance to experience many new adventures like caving, mountain climbing, and whitewater rafting. For many of these youth, the ability to participate in these activities is difficult outside of the Scouting program. Venturing is completely youth-led. It is where youth practice and fine-tune their leadership skills. Those skills will help them through high school and college and well into their future as adults. The last area is the Exploring program, which gives young men and women a true taste of going beyond the badge. This career-based program allows them to completely immerse themselves in a career of interest, from police and fire cadets to medical EMTs. The youth get a feel for a potential career. It is through the Exploring program you can decide if this is a career that they want to continue for the rest of their lives. It is no secret our society has become career-driven and college-focused. Currently, many kids go off to college, lost with no real direction in what they want to do in the future, and then graduate in serious debt. Now, imagine if every youth was in Scouting, where they could get the experience beyond the badge, get a taste of a career and decide, is this something I want to do as a job? We would have a society where our youth have more direction and can decide if college, trade school, or the military is the best path for them to continue towards their future success. In the Black Hills, we are able to help provide these experiences that go beyond the badge to more than 1,200 young people in our Scouting program, and locally, more than 2,400 youth. We provide these experiences that go beyond the badge for more than 1,200 local young people and 2,400 youth nationally through our summer camp program. Just think about that and how many lives have been impacted for the future. Today's breakfast represents the igniting force. You provide the spark, the funding to implement the best programs, provide the best facilities, the best staff to enable Scouting to carry out all the great service projects our community has come to know and love. There's no telling what your spark might do for a young person, but it just might ignite and burn throughout their entire life. Yes, today's breakfast will provide the spark that will help youth go beyond the badge on a path into their future. But Scouting, as you know, has the core values of promoting citizenship, patriotism, and love of our country. Please stand as Peyton Palmer, Crazy Horse Lodge Chief and Life Scout from Troop 131, sponsored by the First United Methodist Church in Rapid City, leads us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Thank you, Peyton. Now, Maddie Keetle and Esther Mandy from our first Scouts BSA Girl Troop 172 by Calvary Lutheran Church in Rapid City will lead us in the Scout Oath and Law.
Will everybody please make the Scout sign? If you do not know the Scout Oath and Law, they will be on the screens. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
You may all be seated. Thank you, Maddie and Esther. We are proud to be welcoming young ladies into all of our fantastic programs. We can't wait to see what Troop 172 will do in the future. I would now like to invite Peyton Palmer back to the stage to lead us in a prayer.
So we will be right over there, that corner.
In the spirit of the proponent of Scout Law, Reverend, please prepare yourself for prayer. Heavenly Father, we pray for many things. For faith in a world where many walk in fear. For food in a world where many walk in hunger. For leadership in a world where so many only follow. For friends in a world where so many walk alone. For freedom in a world where so many are held captive. And Father, so too bless us with humor, understanding that all the world smiles in the same language. And finally, Lord, place your loving hand over this assembly today, who give their time, talent, and treasure, enabling Scouting to become the reality for so many young people. In this we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Peyton, for those inspiring words. And everyone, excellent job, Scouts, for getting us off to a great start. Welcome, everyone, to our 19th annual Leadership Breakfast for Scouting. Many thanks to everyone for being here as we celebrate 109 years of Scouting and kick off the 2019 Friends of Scouting campaign. We once again have record attendance with more than 360 people, or Scouting friends, community leaders, and Scout volunteers. Now, breakfast will be served, and we will continue our program shortly after everyone has received their meal.
On March 24th, 2014, our council and community lost a great leader who changed scouting in the Black Hills. Arthur T. Jansen, former scout executive of the Black Hills Area Council. Art was also instrumental in securing the funds and building the Scout Service Center in Rapid City. Under his leadership, a Boy Scout Cleanup Day was established in 1970, which later became a city/community-wide program and is still an annual event in Rapid City. For 21 years, Art served as coordinator of this event. After his passing, the council named the Eagle Scout of the Year award in his honor. Now, will all Eagle Scouts in the room please stand up and be recognized? This year, our Eagle Scout of the Year is Josh Hoff from Troop 1187. Josh is a senior at Douglas High School. Josh has earned 35 merit badges and completed Introduction to Leadership Skills course and Junior Leadership training. Josh's Eagle Scout project was unique. At the end of the project, there wasn't anything tangible, but the leadership Josh provided for the project was what earned him Eagle Scout of the Year. Josh's project was called Patriots Politics. Josh created a nonpartisan club at Douglas High School, which is a safe place to discuss political issues despite differing opinions. It gave students a place where they could discuss their differences in a healthy manner and learn from one another instead of all of the unhealthy ways that are out there today. Unlike most Eagle Scout projects, Josh didn't involve other scouts in his project. The leadership he showed was towards a group of student peers and administration at the Douglas High School. The group is strong with 20 active members. Not only are they discussing political issues, but they are also helping bring student issues to the attention of the administration. Not only was Josh's project impressive, but Josh is very active in school and community. Josh is the president of the Douglas Drama Club and is on the student council. He's active in the environmental club, a member of the National Honor Society, junior leadership, Rapid City graduate, and former Boys State participant. Josh has been named Douglas High School's class of 2019 valedictorian, has been accepted to the University of Minnesota, and he will find out in April on his top 2 schools of choice. He plans to study environmental law with a political science minor or immunology to study the effects of the changing climate has on human diseases. Through earning his law merit badge, the spark in Josh was lit, and we know he will do great things. Congratulations, Josh, on doing the Art Jansen Eagle Scout of the Year.
Anyone else see me on this? I would now like to welcome to the stage Ivan Riker, the 2018 Explorer of the Year recipient from Post 108 with the Sturgis Police Department.
On November 18, 2013, the Newcastle community and Explorer Post 66 were in shock by the tragic death of 15-year-old Wyatt J. Piller. Wyatt was a Cub Scout and was a member of 4-H, FFA, High School Rodeo, the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. He enjoyed shooting sports, wrestling, Little Birches Rodeo, basketball, baseball, football, dancing, and being involved with training explorers. He was a leader in the Newcastle Fire Explorer program, and his dream was to be a rancher and fireman following graduation. Because of the impact that Wyatt had, we have renamed our Explorer of the Year award as the Wyatt Dillon Explorer of the Year award. Parker DeRucci wanted to join the Sturgis Police Explorer Post when he was just 13 years old. He was too young at the time, but that didn't keep him from wanting to participate. Once he was old enough, he dove in full force to the program. Parker's advisors described him as pleasant and courteous to be around. He always offers help to young members when they are first joining. He has taken it upon himself to enroll in EMT classes, and he is always trying to improve himself. For his senior project, Parker presented on the roles of a police officer and the importance of the equipment. He was so passionate and knowledgeable about the subject that he was actually docked in his grade for going over the time limit. Parker is a great example of a police explorer who has gone above and beyond. He really shows what it means to be in this program. He goes beyond the badge every day, and he has learned a valuable lesson that will last a lifetime as Parker plans on pursuing a career in law enforcement. It is with great honor that we present the Wyatt Tone Explorer of the Year Award to Parker Durushi for Post 108.
Congratulations, Parker. I would now like to welcome to the stage our Eagle Scout of the Year, Josh Huff. It's truly an honor to give the State of the Council address. No worries, this one won't be as long-winded as the other addresses you may be familiar with. Let's start with addressing the elephant in the room. Many of you have heard some things in the media this year, and we would like to clarify any confusion that might be out there. First, let me say we did not merge with the Girl Scouts of the USA. We will not be selling Thin Mint popcorn. We respect and support every youth organization that focuses on leadership development. Our drive for allowing both girls and boys in Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA came from our families. Families today are pulled in so many different directions with more single-parent households and dual-earning families. It's harder now than it's ever been in the past for families. We wanted to make the decision easy for families so if they choose, they can take all their kids to one place and all of them can participate and achieve the awards and recognition. Now on to local news. 2018 was a great year for the Black Hills Area Council. We received a silver level rating for the Journey to Excellence program and saw improvement in many areas. We balanced the budget last year and paid off council debt. Last year was our best year in the Friends of Scouting fundraising in history. We had a huge increase in camping revenue and attendance at Medicine Mountain Scout Ranch. We received full accreditation as Cub Scout, Boy Scout, and High Adventure Camp. Last year at camp, we brought in more than 3,274 individuals to Medicine Mountain throughout the year. We were able to assist in the Philmont fire recovery by providing a program to many individuals who were displaced because of the fire. We purchased a new camp truck to help with camp programs and facility management. We had 49 girls join Cub Scouting in 2018. We have 2 new Scout BSA girl troops with 15 girls that are currently registered in the program. We had 19 Eagle Scouts in 2018. We completed an audit of our 2018 financials, and we are proud to say that we had no audit adjustments, no significant deficiencies, and no material weaknesses. The Black Hills Area Council is now proud to be a part of Area 1 of the Central Region of the Boy Scouts of America. In June, we also welcomed our new Scout Executive and CEO, Corey Davis. Corey came to us from the Jayhawk Area Council in Topeka, Kansas, where he was the Assistant Scout Executive. Corey has been doing great work so far, and we can't wait to see what else he will do for the Black Hills. All of this wouldn't be possible without the leadership of our Council Executive Board. Will you please stand and be recognized? I would also like to thank our Council Key 3, Quentin Riggins, Council President, Mike Lewis, Council Commissioner, and Corey Davis, Scout Executive and CEO. Unfortunately, Quentin is East River attending a trial today and was unable to make this morning's breakfast. Additionally, Corey would like me to recognize his staff, Would you all please stand and be recognized? Thank you for the sacrifices and time you commit to growing scouting in the Black Hills. Scouting is alive and well in the Black Hills, and we thank you for your support. Thank you, Josh. Our theme is Beyond the Badge. Let me just tell you a few statistics from a recent Baylor University study when it compared Eagle Scouts to men who weren't in scouting. 66% were more likely to volunteer. 73% are more likely to have voted in the last presidential election. 55% more likely to be in leadership position at their place of employment. And 76% are more likely to hold a leadership position in their local community. You have heard about scouts whose dreams were fueled by your support. I would like to welcome to the stage Trevor Kyrlever from Troop 88, sponsored by Our Lady of the Black Hills in Piedmont, for the all-important act.
First, for every 100 Boy Scouts who join scouting, 5 will become Eagle Scouts. 9 will enter a vocation learned through the Merit Badge program. 1 will use scouting skills to save the life of another person. Additionally, twice as many scouts will graduate from college compared to the general population. And what about all scouting alumni? Well, 89% will be senior class presidents. 85% are FBI agents. 68% of West Point graduates. 72% are Rhodes Scholars. And 89% are astronaut corps or scouts. Now, how do parents of scouts versus non-scouts feel about scouting programs? 96 say scouts learn valuable skills versus 77 of non-scout parents. 94 say scouts develop leadership traits compared to 73% of non-scout parents. 92 of scout parents say they learn respect from others, and 70% of non-scouts say that too. 91% of scouts learn strong morals and values versus 66 of non-scout parents. Now, pay close attention to these alarming statistics. Every day in our country, 7,300 high school students drop out. 2,233 youth are arrested. 18,493 public school students are suspended. Many say the moral fabric of our country is eroding, but I am so pleased that scouting has stood the test of time and continues to be a beacon of hope. A path to responsibility and values-based organization that makes a positive difference in the lives of scouts like me. Your financial support is needed today more than ever before, and you will come to make a difference in the lives of young people like me. For without you, who? And if not now, when? You can make an impact, and now is the time. I represent 1,200 youth and 750 volunteers who appreciate your passion for scouting and our efforts to ensure that all young people who desire to participate can do so regardless of their financial situation. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to help scouting thrive and grow in South Dakota. More than ever, young Americans need character building, the leadership skills, and the lessons in personal responsibility that the scouting program offers. We are committed to giving scouts the tools and experiences, the knowledge and the faith to make the world a better place. Our mission may be lofty, but with your help, it is attainable. For without you, who? And if not now, when? You can make an impact, and now is the time. Many of us will earn the Eagle Badge, become parents, city leaders, and business executives. We are the future. As a Scout, I ask you to support Scouting through a financial pledge to our Council's 2019 Friends of Scouting annual campaign. Your contributions are above and beyond the allocation we receive from the United Way, where we are proud and grateful for our long-time partnership. It is our hope that everyone here today makes a financial pledge to support Scouting. With your generous help, we shall be able to raise our goal within the next year. We are asking that everyone consider a minimum pledge of $175. This is the cost to support one Scout in the Black Hills Area Council. Many of you also work for companies that provide matching funds, so please indicate that on your card. I know that many guests contribute at a much higher level, and for that we share our appreciation. In fact, the average individual gift at last year's breakfast was nearly $350. As you think about your gift, at my request, consider the phrase, give until it feels good. Every gift is important, and won't it feel good to help 1,200 Scouts, 750 volunteer Scout leaders, and make a positive difference in the life of Scouts like me? You will help us, won't you? Your table can discuss the specifics of completing your pledge card and the ways you pay your pledge, either today or in payments over the course of the year. Please remember that all donations stay local. Please make sure to sign, date, and verify your mailing address, and return your card to your table host. For those who are using a credit card, please be sure to sign and date, including your 3-digit code. So, at this time, table hosts, please distribute the pledge card, and after your guests fill them out, collect them and give them to a Scout or staff members as they come around your table. Please remain seated as we will soon introduce our speaker, Jared Ogden.
I see you on Facebook all the time.
Snow Random, an Eagle Scout from Troop 320, sponsored by American Legion Post 320, should introduce our speaker.
Jared is from Atlanta, Georgia, and is an Eagle Scout. After high school, he attended the United States Naval Academy, graduated in 2004, and was commissioned to Ensign. His initial orders were to a warship in San Diego, and from there he applied and was accepted to BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition and SEALs, the rigorous Navy SEAL selection program, and graduated BUDS Class 265. Jared credits Scouting with helping him give direction in life and what he wanted to do. After 8 years of active duty and 4 deployments, he left the Navy service in 2012. The military awards include Combat Action Ribbon Bronze Star with V for Valor, among other numerous joint awards. He spent the next 3 years contracting in the defense industry. As if that wasn't enough, Jared decided to put his scouting skills to the test. He represented the Special Operations Community as a cast member on National Geographic's Ultimate Survival Alaska for 2 seasons. In March of 2015, Jared co-founded Triumph Systems and serves as the CEO today. Additionally, he was an advisor to Senator Johnny Isakson of Georgia and sits on the Service Academy Selection Committee. Jared holds a Master's in Business Administration from Washington University in St. Louis, and most recently represents the local business community through his selection in the St. Louis's 40 Under 40. Please help me welcome to the stage Eagle Scout Jared Ogden.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah? All thumbs up. First, I want to welcome everybody for coming out this morning. It's a really special event. This is my first time here in South Dakota, and I learned an interesting fact that maybe some of you guys know, being here in South Dakota, living here as residents. If South Dakota was a city, it would be the 58th largest city in the U.S. A very big city. But since leaving active duty in 2012, I've had the opportunity to travel across the country, again, never here in South Dakota, and I've had the opportunity to speak to various groups ranging from professional athletic teams to professional organizations to Fortune 500 companies. But this group here is different. And not only is this group different because it's my favorite organization, Scouts, BSA, that gave me a solid foundation. But also when I look out across the audience, I see more than just that. I see leaders helping leaders. And that really is unique. It's the old guard passing the torch to the new guard. And to be clear on what I mean by a leader, if you answer yes to the following question, you are a leader. If any person at any point in time relies on you for anything, you are a leader. Think about that. If any person at any point in time relies on you for anything, you are a leader. And when I look back at the course of my life, as I was preparing my words for today, it really became an exercise in recalling a lot of events. A lot of those events were Scout-based. And through going through this exercise, I realized that Scouting really developed two characteristics for me. It instilled these things in me. The repetition of weekly meetings and responsibilities there, the repetition of monthly campouts, and being a leader, being a teammate at those campouts, two things. And those two things is it developed a value system and it instilled a work ethic. A value system that I use today to help guide me make the right decision, and then work ethic to act upon that decision and see it through. So when I look at the course of my life, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of leaders, many of whom are Scouts, many of whom are Eagles. And when I look back at these different things that I've done in my life, I see that there's four characteristics that all effective leaders have. And these things were developed in me as a Scout without even knowing it. And that's the beauty of the Scouting program. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a big part of what it means to go beyond the badge. These four things that all leaders exhibit. They always have a plan of action. They always embrace flexibility. They always aim for balance, and they know their why. I'm going to take the next 15 or so minutes, and we're going to dive a little bit deep into each of those. Plan of action, embracing flexibility, aim for balance, and know your why. The first characteristics of all leaders, plan of action. So I want to start by stating the difference between, as it relates to developing a plan of action, there's harboring a dream, and then there's pursuing a goal. And there's a big difference. Harboring a dream is like a fish out of water. You're flopping around aimlessly. You don't have objectives. You don't know where you are in terms of getting to here to where you want to go. But pursuing a goal, that is different. That is systematic. That always begins with devising a plan of action. When I was a Cub Scout, I knew that I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And last night at the VIP reception, several people came up to me and asked, at what point in your life did you know you wanted to be a Navy SEAL? Well, the short answer is, I'm not sure. There was no one pivotal conversation, person, experience that I can pinpoint that led me to wanting to become a Navy SEAL, but it's something that I knew I wanted to do. And certainly, the scouting program helped harness, helped develop those characteristics that would later come in very, very handy as a combat leader. So as a little boy, I want to be a Navy SEAL. The problem is I don't know any Navy SEALs. Now by this time I'm in middle school, and the closest thing that I know to a Navy SEAL is my cousin, who's not a Navy SEAL. He's a midshipman at the United States Naval Academy, but he wants to be a Navy SEAL. Again, this is the closest thing that I know. So I set my sights on the Naval Academy. I created a plan. All right, I'm going to go to this out-of-district math and science magnet public school that's 45 minutes away instead of the one that I'm districted to go to because it's an engineering school and these things are important. At the end of the day, everything works out. I graduate from the Naval Academy, but I am not one of the 16 guys out of 1,000 in our class that received the coveted Navy SEAL billet. So at this point, I have two courses of action. I can either become a Marine, I would love being a Marine, or I can go be a ship driver and laterally transfer. Now there's no guarantees that I'm going to get a billet. Everything said and done, I ended up getting the billet, but it wasn't without further challenge. The week before my lateral transfer package was accepted, I was on an island off the coast of Florida working on dynamic breath hold drills underwater at night. And I swam into a concrete wall and broke my C1. So that next week I'm recovering in ICU and I get a phone call from the detailer. Hey, congratulations. You got picked up, you're going to BUD/S, you're classing up in the next month. I said, roger that, sir. There's only one problem, I broke my C1. And obviously I didn't class up the next month, but 6 months later, after a full recovery, I classed up. But that lends itself to my next point, embracing flexibility. Because even the best thought out plans, aspects of them will fall apart. And flexibility is absolutely critical. So, embracing flexibility is about understanding the plan, but also being aware of your circumstances, situations, and being able to adapt to still accomplish whatever that defined end state is. I'm reminded of my first camp out as a Boy Scout, making that transition from Weeblos to Boy Scouts. And we're a new troop, we're a young troop, I'm a charter member, and I had no business being in a position of leadership, but we're a small troop with no depth, so I'm a patrol leader. And it was on this camp out that we discovered the fun and entertainment associated with putting cooking oil on a fire. Keep in mind, this was not a part of the plan, okay? The plan was to use the cooking oil on Sunday morning for pancakes. However, the pyro show was just too much fun. And it was noticed by the adults that were camped 100 or 200 yards away, to the point that one of the adult leaders, not the scoutmaster, not my dad, came over and said, Jared, or said, who's in charge? I said, I am. And he pulls me aside and asks, don't you need the cooking oil for something else? As if to warn me, hey, this is not a good idea. And I said, well, we need it for the pancakes, but we'll be good. We got this covered. No, we didn't. We got up the next morning. We cooked pancakes, only they didn't look like pancakes. It was a bunch of black char stuck to cast iron. So being the leader, I took ownership, went over to the adult campsite. I didn't want to. waiting to be noticed. Now, they all knew what I was doing there. The scoutmaster takes notice and says, "Jared, what do you need?" And I said, "I'm here, I need to get some more cooking oil." "Well, what happened to yours?" Well, he knew the answer, but he wanted me to say it. So I told him we had a spectacular pyro show the day before. The adults were not amused, and it was really awkward, and I was nervous. And finally, the scoutmaster said, "All right, how many mouthfuls of oil do you need?" I said, "One, just one." At this point, I really just wanted to get out of there. So he pointed to his backpack, said, "The oil's inside, take your mouthful and get out of here." So I go to his backpack, I take a swallow of oil, I run back to my campsite, breathing through my nose. I get there, spit the oil out in the cast iron frying pan, thinking I'm the hero, but in reality, everybody else was grossed out. We went hungry that morning, and trust me, when I say this was my first real-world experience learning resource management, and one that I'm really, really glad that I learned as a scout in the Atlanta Area Council and not in Afghanistan. 3, my third point, aim for balance. What do I mean by that? Aiming for balance. See, when I am balanced, I can dedicate laser focus to the task at hand, as opposed to distraction. When I'm doing something challenging, when I'm doing something hard, it requires laser focus. I don't want distractions. How do I have laser focus? It's by taking care of those things that are most important to me. My relationship with Christ, family, my wife, community. When those things are right, I can have laser focus or distraction-free thought to accomplish the task at hand. Several years ago, I was doing a standard combat loadout jump. Following the jump profile, I exit the aircraft at 13,000 feet. And when I exit an aircraft, I fall through the first 1,000 vertical feet in 10 seconds, and each subsequent 1,000 vertical feet at 6 seconds until I initiate the canopy opening sequence. So following the dive profile, exit the aircraft at 13,000, wave off at 5,500 feet, looks like this. This indicates to anybody in my air column above me that I am about to open up my canopy, aka I'm slamming on the brakes. So if you are above me in my air column, get out. So I wave off at 5,500 feet, look right, grab right, pins out at 5,000 feet, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, something's wrong, brakes aren't coming on. In free fall, when you have a malfunction, the first thing that you do is you check over your shoulder. You check over your shoulder, and there's a visual indicator. So you see your parachute in whatever form it's in, and that tells you the next step. So this is a part of an emergency procedure. You see what's happening, you know what's happening. It compresses the timeline to make decisions, because based on what you see, you automatically know what to do. The only problem on this particular jump is that I had the malfunction we didn't go over in free fall school. It's the malfunction where when you look over your shoulder, there is nothing. There's no parachute, no nylon, no nothing. So at this point in time, I do what any Navy SEAL worth his weight in salt would do when a piece of life-saving equipment is not working properly. You know what I did? I hit it. So I reared around as hard as I could, and I deliver my elbow into the container on my back that's holding my parachute. And it was then that I realized I had a battle rifle right here. So the battle rifle absorbed the kinetic energy I was trying to deliver to the parachute to encourage it to do what it is designed to do. So I rear around the other side, and I elbow the container holding the parachute, 1,000, 2,000, nothing happens. Something's wrong. Look left, grab left, look right, grab left. And as soon I'm about to cut away and activate my reserve parachute, and I feel a gentle thud. Anyone in this room who has skydived knows what that is. That's the container entering the airstream right before it inflates. I know the thud, I look up, and I see that big blue sky get smaller as my parachute inflates. But keep in mind, when this happened, I was probably at about 4,000 feet, falling through vertically at 6 seconds per 1,000 feet. I was about 20 seconds away from not being here today. Rest assured, I was not distracted. I was laser focused on the task at hand. As a leader, we always aim for balance. And that gives me distraction-free thought. Lastly, all effective leaders, they know this. I learned it as a scout. Know your why. It's real simple. When you know your why, the what's and the how's don't matter. You see, what's and how's, they are this thing that I call distractions. They are things that are in the way that you create mentally that prevent you from achieving your potential. As a young scout, you're faced with what seems like, at the time, daunting task. And I'm really glad that I had a lot of those tough, hard experiences, because it prepared me so much for future challenges that life brings to all of us. Again, this is one aspect of going beyond the badge. Know your why. It reminds me of one morning, rather one afternoon at Bud's. This is before Hell Week. The class is pretty big. The instructor staff tells us, tomorrow morning meet at the beach at 04. So we do. A few minutes before 4, we meet the instructor staff at the beach. It's cold, it's dark, we can see their profiles in the moonlight shimmering off the Pacific Ocean. And we see a row of inflatable boats and a pile of telephone poles. And we have no idea what the day is going to have in store for us. But the instructors do, they know, they inform us we're about to do the longest mile. The longest mile is when you, plus your boat crew, you pick up one of those telephone poles, put it on your shoulder, point south, and run for 1 mile. Sounds easy. We drop the telephone pole. Easy, right? No. Turn around, run back to where you started, pick up that 200-pound inflatable boat, you and your boat crew, you plus 5, put it on your heads, point south, run to the telephone poles. Now, repeat that sequence 6 more times. That is the longest mile, and that took a really, really long time to accomplish. And the class shrank substantially during that evolution. When I look back at that evolution, and look at those who successfully completed that evolution versus those who successfully complete hard things that we do in life, it comes down to this. The guys that made it never lost sight of their why. Versus the other guys were saying, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Oh my gosh, what's next? Know your why. Focus on the task at hand. And realize that this too shall end. And when it does, whatever that task is, you will have a moment, maybe several moments, but regardless, you will have time to recalibrate mentally, physically, and to prepare for whatever the next task is. With that, ladies and gentlemen, my time here is coming to an end. And again, I really want to thank each of you for coming out here today. I want to thank you for your contribution to Scouting BSA, and I hope that more than anything else, these few stories have shed a little bit of light into the lasting effect that this program has on the new guard, on the next generation. Because here's the deal, we're only able to do this through your contribution. And rest assured, your contribution will have profound impact on the new guard coming up, even if it's not realized today, if it's not noticed today or tomorrow. It will have profound impact over the years and the decades to come. We need your support. Thanks again. It's been a great first trip for me to South Dakota, and God bless everyone. Thank you.
We want to thank Jared Ogden for his thoughts and inspiration. We hope that you will fondly remember this important visit to the Black Hills. Please accept this Mount Rushmore plaque as a remembrance of your time here in the Black Hills. Additionally, we would like to thank the following sponsors for their support. Don Poliski with Big D Oil, Neil Schlockman with Stecco Construction, Dave Heineck with Dave and Steph Heineck, Brad Fisher from First Interstate Bank. We now, Neil Schlockman, Dave Heineck, Brad Fisher, and Don Poliski, Neil Heineck, Dave, oh my gosh. Will all of you please come up? We now have some special recognitions to present, and you must be present to win. We will start with the table host. We'll draw 2 names, and then we'll draw names for 3 attendees.
What we're handing here looks like a knife. That's because it is a knife. There's a whole other story that we won't get into, but Jared Ogden has worked and has designed a special knife in memory of one of his fallen comrades, and the knife is etched with his name on it. So that's what we're handing out. Don't take him to the airport. All right. I'm going to grab 2 slips.
Okay. So our first table host is sorry, they're in different orders, so I can't remember which ones. Okay. Our first table host is J.C. Joyce from Shields at table 26. Our second table host is Kelly Buntrock from First Interstate at table 21. All right, now for the 3 table attendees. Our first is Merle S. at table 40. Our second is Erica Heiser from table 2. And our final is Chris Rendon from table 44. Today, we have made a difference. Today, we have made a difference on the lives of youth like me. Each of you have done something important for our community. Thank you again for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Please travel safely and have a wonderful day.